Hi, hello, and welcome back, my fellow book dragons, nerds, and worms. It's officially spooky season. Happy October, everyone! Which means it's TBR time. I'm so excited to jump into this list, but before we even do that, let me give you this disclaimer. I do not believe I will be able to finish each and every one of these books that I'm about to present to you. With that being said, I view this list more as a suggested TBR list, an SBTR, if you will, rather than an actual to be read list based off of what I am feeling that month. Since it's October, it means it's spooky everything. And Halloween. Because it's a huge holiday, I believe that I should do a 24-hour readathon for Halloween. And these are the books that I hope to read for that special occasion, starting with Slowfoot by Brom. So in this book, we are following a woman during the Puritan Salem witch trial era who just lost her husband and is trying to find her way in this cruel world as this demon named Slowfoot, as he tries to figure out if he is going to be a protector and or a destroyer. But can we take a minute to just talk about this cover? Just look at that. At first, I was just like, oh my god, that's so eerie. Like a girl with the moon in the background. And then you look down and you see that she's half satyr. She's a satyr. What the fuck, bro? Like, I'm so intrigued. But then there's more. Then, if you open this book, you get pictures. You get these weird, eerie fucking pictures of different things. And I'm so excited to pick this up. This just seems so Halloween, right? So Halloween. The next book I'm hoping to read for this readathon is The Night of Mannequins by Stephen Graham Jones. So with this one, I can't give you much because the synopsis only says this. It's a teenage prank gone wrong. That already horrifies me because mannequin is in the title. So what does that mean? You know, like what are we walking into? What is happening? That's where I'm at. But that is, I believe, a novella. And this next book that I hope to read for the 24-hour readathon is a short story collection by the one and only Stephen King. Night Shift. So with this one, it is just a bunch of horror stories that happen during the night shift, is what I've gathered from the synopsis. I'm super excited because Stephen King is the king of horror, so it only makes sense that in October we read some Stephen King books, right? So now that we got the 24-hour readathon list out of the way, let's jump into the actual list of October. So I split this up into 4 different categories. The first one being in honor of Blackoween. So I thought Blackoween was taking place this summer, but in reality, it actually is taking place in October. So I didn't know that, or else I would have makeshifted this list to accommodate that. But I didn't know. So I only have 2 books that will honor that. So that's one section. The other section is just plain horror. Just anything that falls under the word horror is in this next section. Then the section after that will be my thriller, mystery, suspense section. And then our very last section is going to be fantasy horror. And that will make up my October TBR. So without any further ado, let's jump into this list. Starting with The Weight of Gold by Tiffany D. Jackson. So this book is a Carrie retelling, but add Black problems. Like, that is the best way to explain the premises as vaguely as possible, is that it's Carrie with Black people problems. And I'm so excited because Tiffany is actually an author that I've been meaning to jump into. I've just been so scared because I've heard so many good things about her, and I don't want to open a book and hate it. because I generally love Tiffany without ever reading any of her books. I love people's reaction to her books. I love the premises of all of her books. And yeah, so I'm really, really hoping that I love this book. If not, I will cry. The next book I'm hoping to pick up in honor of Black Halloween is The Year of the Witching by Alexis Henderson. This is another author that is becoming an author for me because I already have ordered her next book, An Academy of Liars, which is in dark academia. If that happens to come in during October, you best believe I'm reading it this October as well. But I definitely want to pick up this one because I started this last October but did not finish it. Last year, wintertime was like a weird time for me, but it's okay. It's okay. We're going to make it up this October, starting with this book right here. So in this book, we are following Ismael, I believe is how you pronounce her name. I could be totally wrong. Do not quote me, do not come for me in the comments. But from what I'm understanding of the synopsis is that she is born as like a mixed kid, and somehow her mother was mixed in with like the witches, but like she lives in a town that is like godly, and so now she has to figure out where she fits in to this town while also making sure it doesn't break because of its own corruption. I hope that makes sense. Yeah. So those are the books that I wanted to read in honor of Black Halloween. I will have the video explaining what Black Halloween is in the description if you want to join it next year. Bree does a beautiful job. I will be participating for sure next year, Bree. I promise. All right, let's jump into the next section of this TBR, which is horror, starting with the classic, The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. This book needs no introduction, but if you need an introduction, it is basically a family that moves into a house and it is haunted. The premise right there. And this is a classic, so I am thoroughly looking forward to picking up this book. To be honest with you, this is already giving me like creepy vibes because what do you mean? There's no cover. It's just one solid cover. It looks like it's been beat up. I'm horrified. I am horrified already, and I haven't even picked it up yet. The next book I plan on picking up is A House at the Bottom of the Lake by Josh Millerman, I believe is how you pronounce his name. So in this book, we are following teenagers as they go on their first date, canoeing through some lakes, having a picnic, and some beer, when they discover that there is something at the bottom of the lake, and it changes their lives forever. To be honest with you, like, I really hope that, like, if I ever get asked out, like, someone asks me, there we go, to do something fun like this, because like dinner and a movie, that's just, you know, like let's do something exciting. So hopefully I can take some pointers from this book. Next we have a reread for me, and that is The Troop by Nick Cutter. So I actually read this like 2 years ago and was shooketh by the way that the book, or the direction in which the book went, but I don't remember what happened in this book, if I'm being honest with you. So I want to reread it. And on top of that, this is Stephen King certified. Listen to this blurb. He says, and I quote, "The Troop scared the living hell out of me, and I couldn't put it down. This is an old school horror at its best." Say less. We're already picking it up. It'll probably be a favorite of mine, because I love Stephen King's work. Well, the works that I've read so far. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to love this book as well. Well, I mean, I already did, because if I look at my Goodreads, like, I gave it a 5 out of 5. So, yeah. Last book on my horror list is Kill Creek by Scott Thomas. I actually already started this book. I'm about 120 pages in. Loving it. Loving it so much. So this book is about four horror authors that spend the night in a haunted house, and things don't go as planned. And I'm loving it so far. It's so good. It is so good so far. I'm having a blast. Thank you, Gabby, if you ever watch this. Thank you, Gabby. I picked this because you had this on one of your top 10 horror books of whatever year it was. I appreciate you, girl. I appreciate you. Let's jump into my mystery, thriller, suspense section, starting with The One by John Mayer, the author, not the singer. So in this book, it all surrounds this one premise, and it is, if a DNA swab could find your soulmate, would you take the test? I don't know. Like, if I'm being honest with you, I don't know if I would. I don't know if I would want to be able to know who my person is. I think half the fun of finding your person is actually having to find them. You know? Right? Wrong? Let me know down below what you would do, how you would answer this. I'm curious. Next we have Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. So in this book, we follow a man who gets kidnapped, and when he wakes up from being kidnapped, he is in a completely different world than when he was first kidnapped. And now we're trying to figure out what happened and how he can get back to his original world. And the last book to round out my thriller, mystery, suspense section is a book that I actually read. It's from an author that I read earlier this year, Miss Ruth Ware, The Turn of the Key. That book started off really slow, and then the freaking twist at the end, I did not see coming. So I really hope that this book does the same. One by One by Ruth Ware. So with this one, it is similar to Agatha Christie's And Then There Was None, but set in a wintry place. So I'm really, really hoping that I enjoy this book because I really enjoyed the Agatha Christie book. So let us pray that we enjoy this one as well, because if not, I will cry. I will cry. The last section of this TBR list is my fantasy horror, starting with Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher. So this book, I'm just going to read back. So it says, this isn't the kind of fairy tale where the princess marries the prince. It's the one where she kills him. Okay, TK. Okay. Like, I didn't know we were doing dark fairy tale here. All right, let's go. Say less. That's all I need to know. And then can we just talk about this cover? Can we just talk about this cover? That is gorgeous. And not to even, like, can we talk about the end papers too? Let's go. Like a bone dog? I'm sorry. I need to pick up this book. This last book, we cannot have October without having an actual book by the horror king himself. Fairy Tale by Stephen King. So this book I actually picked up last October and got darn near halfway through. But last year, wintertime was like a weird time for me. So like I was picking up books, but not finishing them. So I'm hoping that I could break this cycle this October because I was really, 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 really enjoying this book before I put it down. So in this book, we are following Sir Charlie, and Charlie ends up inheriting this house that is a portal to another world that is dying. But if he does not fix that world, it will end up destroying ours. What? Say less, Stefan. Say less. And it has a dog in it. I remember there's a dog. I forget the name of the dog. I forget the name of the dog. But nevertheless, there's a dog in it. I'm gonna read it. I have a dog. I have several dogs actually. So we're picking it up. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. Those are all the books that I hope to pick up for the month of October. Let me know down below what books you are going to pick up, if you guys are going to participate in a 24-hour readathon for Halloween, or if you have any other like traditions or stuff that you do here on YouTube for Halloween or just in reading in general. Let me know down below. I want to know. Until next time, there's an adventure waiting. Bye.